Hey guys, I'm Reagan. I work in finance.
Hi, I'm not Jordan. I'm Ryan, and I work in tax.
And this is Working Late. So if you are grinding through a long day or a late night, we're here to keep you company and remind you why it's all worth it. So we're back with Ryan today. If you watched episode 11, you might know Ryan already. But Ryan, what do you have going on this week?
Let's see. This is the first of the month, so we have some SOX compliance work. For you CPAs out there, AEC 450 is a big one for me. It
Fun.
comes every month, and then it's springtime, so weeds are growing, grass is trying to become green. So try to balance work with actually doing yard work, which I utterly despise.
Yeah,
So
since you moved to Arkansas, like, how is the weather different in northern Arkansas than it was in North Texas?
Seasons is the first thing I'll actually tell people. There's actually four seasons here, and not just
Okay.
hot and sometimes cold. And the weather, like, it gets hot throughout the day in the summer, but then it actually goes down at night. So you can actually be outside during the summer months. It's actually incredible.
Wow, what a concept. That
I
sounds
know, it's very
amazing.
strange. It takes some getting used to, honestly.
So, did you grow up in Texas or?
Yep, born and raised in East Texas, and then lived in Fort Worth for probably 12, 13 years, something like that. So moved
Okay,
here. This is the first time I've been outside of Texas living ever.
okay. So, this is like your first time ever getting to experience the outdoors in the summertime.
Yeah, outside, not a vacation, but got our first year under our belts this past year, and it was shocking. Like, it actually took a long time for it to get warm outside. I think it was
Wow,
like late June. I was like, oh, there's summer.
no way. That sounds
Yeah,
incredible.
it's amazing.
Yeah, like one of my biggest things about living in Houston is that it is, in fact, a swamp. And like, you truly cannot go outside in the summer in the summer lasts like 5, 6 months of the year. So I actually cannot wait to move out of Houston, out of Texas, and somewhere like where you can go outside year round. Would be great.
Arkansas is nice. It's a outdoorsman's playground up here. You can do stuff year round.
Yeah, maybe I could go work in finance for like a big box store based in Arkansas.
There's a few of those jobs out there.
Well, I had like a super chill day today until about 4 p.m. when suddenly there was like a fire drill at work that I had to deal with. And then, okay, got past that at like 5:30, took my dog for a walk. And Riley, my dog, is the sweetest dog in the world. She's never gotten in trouble before. We've had her for about 2 years. She was a rescue. She's the first dog I've ever known to seem actually genuinely grateful to be rescued. But today, so there's a golf course in my neighborhood. And so the golf course has like ponds, and ducks like to swim in the ponds and hang out around there. And I've always known that Riley had an affinity for birds. Well, she'd like to kill them, but
That's
she
fair
likes to
enough.
chase them. Yeah, and so normally she's pretty good though. Normally she'll get to the end of her leash and she'll say, "Okay, sorry about that, never mind." Today, she took off after the birds. I had no time to stop her. She jumped into the pond on the golf course, proceeded to swim around for like 10 minutes. I could not get her out of this pond.
Oh,
I'm yelling, "Riley, Riley, come here, come here." She could not care less. And then finally, the last duck left the pond. Riley took off out of the pond after it, jumped into another pond on the golf course,
doubling
and
down. I like it.
yeah, a sweet man named Gene saved our lives. Gave us a
If
ride
your
on
name
his
is
golf
Gene, I think
cart.
you're just a good dude.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Like I didn't know what to do. I truly could not get her out. And she's probably like 7, 8 years old. She is not a young spry puppy that can swim and chase ducks for like an unlimited amount of time. She was gonna exhaust herself in the middle of this pond. So, anyways, that's what I did for the past. I did that for
That sounds
about
stressful.
30 minutes. Got home. Here we are. Um,
Did you have to dry her off?
yeah, my husband got home around the time that Riley and
Here
I
you
got
go.
home. So, yes, he gave her a bath, and I don't even know what to do with her now. Like, I've never had to discipline her before because she's always been perfect. So,
Oh,
yeah, do you have a dog?
we do. We have a couple dogs. We have a tiny Chihuahua that terrorizes everyone
Nice.
around him, and then we have like a wiener dog, Aussie mix. She's very lovable. Very similar. Like, has never done one wrong thing except shed all over the house endlessly.
Nice, nice.
But Yes, Rico is pretty well known in our friend circle.
Is that the
He's
Chihuahua?
like, as the Chihuahua, he had his teeth taken out end of last year because he's, like 15. But
Oh,
he has
okay.
become a whole new dog after that. Like he bounces around. He can eat soft food now, and it's like his
Really?
life like drastically improved once his little teeth came out, and his like tongue dangles out all the time.
Aw.
And we bought him some new beds where like the front there's no like wall in the front. They're kind of like a three-sided bed, and I flipped one around and pushed it up against the wall to create a wall because he kept knocking his blanket out. So now when he runs in from the outside, he has to do this mental gymnastics where he has to jump, leap into this bed, and if he doesn't have a full sprint, he can't do it. It's just like a "Ugh."
Nice.
So that's usually my morning entertainment.
Those dogs with their tongues hanging out are so cute.
It's pretty funny, and I think every day it just drips out a little bit more.
Aw. Well, what do you have going on like at work these days? Oh, and for people who don't know, can you give like a general 2 sentence overview about what you do for work again?
So I handle our sales and use tax audits. If you've ever bought anything from any store, pretty much across the U.S. outside of 5 states, you've probably paid sales tax on your receipt. A lot of people don't know how big that world is. That is a multi-billion-dollar world. So I manage a lot of our audits. So when a state and local government wants to make sure the correct tax is being paid, they will audit you. And it's my job to make sure we're paying our right amount of tax and make sure any positions they take are lawful.
Okay. So is it like you want to pay the right amount, but is your job also to kind of make sure you don't pay more than you're supposed to?
That is correct. I don't mind paying the right amount of tax, not the most amount of tax.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah. So it's like April 6th right now when we're recording. What does that mean in sales tax? Like y'all don't have the April 15th
So
deadline or anything, right?
honestly, no, yeah. So we don't really have like a yearly deadline. Most states file on the 20th, so each month. Most state tax returns are due on the 20th. So if you're you're on the compliance side, that week is going to be pretty busy for you. But in my
Okay.
space, I don't really have outside of like monthly reporting, like externally. It's not that bad.
Okay. Yeah, and I should mention that we're having you fill in for a few weeks because Jordyn is quickly approaching her tax deadline. She's busy. She's stressed.
I assume she's busy right now.
Yeah, I think she'll probably be working like 24/7 for the next few weeks. So send a prayer for Jordyn. Maybe,
Shout out Jordyn.
yeah, leave a nice comment for Jordyn. We hope she gets through it. But yeah, it's already time for next forecast at my job. And I've like sort of since I went into corporate finance, I've started feeling like pretty existential from time to time because it's just kind of the same cycle over and over again. And maybe there's nuances, maybe things change. But do you ever feel like pretty existential, like you just show up and work for 40
Oh,
years?
sometimes I want those days where I just show up, do something, then leave, and you can just leave it at the door. Other times, you bring it home with you sometimes, and it can get emotional. You get really attached to your work at times, and you get really passionate. I've
Okay.
had some very interesting arguments over the years for some of my taxability takes, I'll say.
What do you mean?
Um, this is at a previous company. I got into a really heated debate on Fortnite V-Bucks. People know what those are. They look like gift cards, but a lot of states think those are digital products and therefore taxable. So you'd have to
Okay.
pay sales tax on your V-Bucks. And I took positions across the country of no, that's a gift card. You don't have to charge tax. And I got into probably one of the most heated debates ever in my career with I'll just say an older lady with the state of New York,
Okay.
and she did not know what the V-Bucks were and how they worked, and I explained it as well as I possibly could. But that's one of the few arguments I lost. We ended up having to charge tax in New York, but
Oh,
I did
man.
win it in several other states.
Okay. So you call that a win?
I call that a win. Yeah, you don't in my space. You don't win them all. You win what you can.
Okay.
And sometimes the law is the law. It is what it is. I did see some interesting posts. I think I became kind of Reddit famous in a way. I saw a lot of people complaining on Reddit about it, and and I would just kind of scroll through and laugh. I'm like, man, if you guys knew what went into this. Like,
Yeah, like you tried your best.
I did everything I possibly could, but sorry, guys.
Nobody really talks about how mentally like exhausting it can be when you're constantly having like when nobody's telling you what to do at work, right? And it's just kind of up to you to figure it out.
Yeah.
I kind of miss those days as much as I didn't appreciate them at the time. I miss those days when like I had a boss who was constantly just telling me what to do and I just did what they told me to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like the military. Like you're always told what to do, and it's kind of nice. It takes the thinking out. You like they just tell you what to do, and then you go do that.
Yeah.
Is that what you have now, or are you more you just go do?
No, now it's definitely I would say I would say early in my career, my managers at the time were a lot more hands-on and it was very much them telling me what to do all the time. In fact, I didn't really have any freedom to be proactive. I felt like I was on a pretty tight leash for like the first 3 years of my career, and that was just kind of the culture of where I worked and kind of how it was. And as much as I didn't really like that at the time because I felt so like restricted, now in my job, my managers are much more hands off, and it's really just up to me to know what needs to happen and to execute on it. And they'll get involved if I ask them a question or if I ask them to get involved, but for the most part, it's just up to me, right?
Yeah.
And they'll check in every once in a while and make sure everything looks right. But
I think that's kind of the goal, right? You want to
right,
get good enough at your job that like you don't have to be micromanaged.
for sure,
And
for sure.
you can just kind of report out when you need to. If you get stuck, you've got someone there. I'm kind of in the same spot. I struggle with that because I just kind of do stuff. You know, I've done enough to know like this is what needs to be done. Okay, I can go do it now.
Do you ever find yourself in the position where like nobody will make a decision about something, and so even though you don't really know what the right decision is, you just kind of make one and hope for the best?
Almost weekly.
Okay.
Yeah. I sometimes I kind of struggle. Like in the old job, I was kind of the end all be all. Like my decision was final outside of big stuff. But in my new world, I'm kind of back towards the bottom. So I have to kind of find that line. Okay, where do I need to raise this up, or what can I'm just gonna make a decision here. You know, you're on your fifth time emailing back or Teams message of what to do, and you just get tired of it. You know what? I'm just gonna make a decision and just live with it.
Yeah, or like you've kind of exhausted all the people you can ask. Like, what do
and
you think
everybody's
I
like,
should do about this? No.
Well, I don't know.
Ask
Go ask
Tom.
Steve.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I didn't even realize though that takes so much mental energy. You know.
Yeah, and next thing you know, it's been like 30, 45 minutes, or drags out for multiple days, and you end up just making a decision you probably would just made right out the gate.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I did bring a quote this week, and that is, if you get tired, learn to rest, not to quit. And I chose that one because, like, I don't know about you. I feel like I do know about Jordyn. I think Jordyn and I are both the type of people who do not know how to chill. Like, I can't ever relax without feeling guilty. And so I should probably talk about that with my therapist. But it gives me the urge to quit things because, you get overwhelmed, you get burnt out, etc. When things feel difficult, instead of just like taking a break and recharging and coming back later. But
I think that's a skill you have to learn.
yeah,
I know
probably.
during kind of COVID, I kind of worked really hard like that and started working from home, and I didn't really know when to turn it off because we were all working from home, and you wanted to show like, oh, I'm getting so much done.
Yeah.
And that just kind of kept going, kept feeding into itself. And I finally kind of had to learn, like, once I step past this threshold, just turn it off. Like, it's not going anywhere. There's nothing that I can't handle tonight or in the morning. Like, it's fine. Just let it go. And I think today, like, it really helps, like, to kind of just come home sometimes and just let it be and just sit on the couch and watch trash TV and just let your mind melt away for a couple hours. That's kind of been my method.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of like trash TV, I'm just going to go ahead and call that a working late boost. What kind of shows are you into?
Oh man, it's getting worse. I think I've gone down quite the rabbit hole. So it started with Vanderpump Rules. My sister
Really?
put me onto it. Yeah.
Okay.
Had I known the journey I was about to go on, it would have gotten crazy. That kind of leads into some of the spinoffs there, and then some coworkers just put me on to Love Is Blind. on
Oh, really?
Netflix.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know how this one has escaped me for so long.
I love Love is
But
Blind.
we had some pretty incredible discussions at the office this past season about what was going on.
Oh my goodness, wait a second. So you worked at the same place as several of my coworkers previous to your current job. One of your old coworkers from that place was on the most recent season. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah.
No?
All of my
No?
coworkers were talking about it.
Go figure that out.
Yeah, I'll give you more information.
Okay, yeah. Take that offline.
Yeah. Yeah, and they did a Dallas season and
I
somebody
need to watch the Dallas one, and then I think the most recent one was Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio. Yeah, somebody that you used to work with relocated from Dallas to Ohio and then ended up on
Man.
Love is Blind.
Oh, man, tomorrow, as soon as I figure this out, tomorrow, I'm not getting anything done at work tomorrow till we hash this out.
Yeah, and a girl who works at my company, she works in like recruiting, so everybody kind of speaks with her at some point. She was on Love is Blind for the Dallas season, so I love that. That is so fun. Have you watched Age of Attraction?
Not that one yet. Is that another Netflix one?
Yes, that's the one that I am taking a deep dive into right now.
Okay.
Yeah. My husband always thinks they're so trivial and silly, and then he watches 10 minutes and he's completely sucked in. So
That's kind of how I was at first, and I was like, "Oh, I'm kind of liking this. Live through someone else's drama."
yeah, you got to look into Age of Attraction. It's pretty wild. The whole premise is like they don't know each other's ages. They all couple up and they don't know the other person's ages, and so
Okay, I've heard people talk about this.
yeah, we got some pretty crazy age gaps. I think the biggest age gap is like 33 years.
Man,
Yeah.
man on this.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Anyways, aside from that, do you have any other working light boosts?
I've got this. I don't know if anyone from the '90s. I've got this Capri Sun pouch. This is Pacific Cooler.
Nice.
If you're ever needing a boost, very small amount of juice in I can only assume as an aluminum pouch. It's ready to go.
Why do you have a Capri Sun? Is that something that you normally keep on hand?
Selfishly, yes.
Okay.
But we had some friends visit with their young kiddos, and we are known to buy snacks that may cross both thresholds of a kid and us. So if there's some
Nice.
leftover Capri Suns and fruity snacks, oh dang, it's upsetting.
Yeah, I loved Capri Suns back in the day. Those were so good. I remember like the rumor was if you left it outside in the Texas heat long enough in the summer, it would turn into wine. And then you could be drinking wine. My brother told me that. I don't think that's true.
I don't know if that's true, but you could age it, I think, in this pouch outside.
Yeah, my brother was like trying to brag to me that he had wine because he left his Capri Sun outside for so long.
It's like, no, I think you had BPA juice. So,
Yeah, probably. Normally we would talk about our career confessionals next, but I'm going to be honest, I don't have any career confessionals today. Do you?
I don't have anything on the docket right now.
All right, that's fine. Let's just move into our hot takes. I did come prepared with a hot take, and this is one that I feel pretty passionately about, so I wonder if you'll agree with me. And that is that anyone who is like average intelligence can do any job if you just take a little bit to be trained. It might take you a week to be trained. It might take a few months. I don't think a degree or anything, much less a master's, is actually like required to teach you things you need to know.
I'll 100% agree.
Okay.
I think anyone can learn to do anything if they truly want to do it. Mm-hmm. I work with a lot of, I'll say, very educated, very certified people. Mm-hmm. Yes, that helps. But if you really wanted to do some very high-end stuff, I don't think you really need tons of education. Not saying don't go get it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think anyone can learn it.
yeah, I think obviously like you got to have a bachelor's degree to even be considered for, most jobs, or at least like most white collar work. But my engineering friends feel pretty strongly that this is not true. And there's like no way I could ever do their job. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I think I could.
I think someone could be trained to do their job.
Yeah, but like I don't think I need 4 years or 6 years of instruction to be able to do the job. Do you think I'm just being cocky or?
I don't think so. Like I think it's more about like wanting to do it. If
Yeah.
it's truly something you want to do, you'll go figure it out. And I think even like super smart people, like if they don't care, they're just not going to do it.
Yeah. What do you think about like being a doctor? My brother's a doctor, and
Ooh,
he's
didn't
I think
consider doctor.
well I think he's had oh gosh, he did 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of med school. I don't even know what year he's in of his residency at this point. I think he's in year 4 of his residency, and he has like 2 left.
Oh man.
Do you think
Um,
what is that? 14 years of schooling is necessary?
as someone who has recently watched a season and a half of The Pit,
Okay.
I think so. I think so. There's a lot of words said
Okay.
and a lot of things you do need to know. Be have memorized. So I do think there is something to that. But again, I think if I really wanted to know that stuff and I sat down with a book,
Yeah.
14 years seems a bit much, but you know, I don't know exactly.
As a little sister, I got to say, I think I could do his job if he just sat down and trained me for a couple months. But yeah, let us
I
know
know.
if y'all disagree, because I feel like I've gotten some very strong opinions on this from other people.
I think so. I think you'll get some.
Yeah, and I, like at my first job in consulting, it was like I live in Houston, so a lot of it was oil and gas focused. And I remember we had this company, a very large oil and gas company in the US. They wanted us to assist them with designing their gas plant that they were building in West Texas. And I took on that project. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I am 23 years old. I have a degree in finance. I don't know why they think that I can help with this gas plant. But you know what? I gave it my best shot.
That's good.
Yeah, I had some engineering software. I really did design something. I don't know. I
If it's
quit
in
my
use.
I quit my job shortly after that.
We need to check in on this gas plant in West Texas, see how things are going out there.
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted it to be optimized for like money saving, financial savings. But anyways, I thought that was like insane at the time that that's what they were asking us to do, and that's what they trusted me with. Yeah, do you have any hot takes?
I've got one. We were talking about, I heard the word fire drill. We recently had I guess a fire drill in our building like you have in school.
Oh, nice.
And they let us know it was going to happen in the area. And we had kind of a discussion in the floor of like, do we really need this? Like we're not a bunch of like, middle schoolers. We all know where the exits are. If there's a fire, as Mitch Hedberg said, if I'm flammable and have legs, I'm never blocking an exit. Like we'll all leave. However, when they did the drill, we fumbled it like unbelievably. It was a
Really?
disaster.
Okay, what
Yes.
happened?
So as I learned, there's more than just one stairwell in the building. Our building's 4 floors high. Everyone just crowded the middle stairwell. No one really paid attention to the 2 side stairwells that spit you out into the parking lots. So it took us way too long to file out of the building. And yeah, we did not get graded well on our fire drill by our safety teams.
Well, I'm glad you practiced.
We are glad we practiced. Like everyone around was like, no, we don't need these fire drills. This is the dumbest thing ever. Like, why are we wasting time on this? And we finished it up like, man, now we know. This is we're not very good at this.
Yeah, so I've had fire drills at work too. And in both, well, I guess all 3 buildings that I've worked in, they're all like really tall buildings ranging from 17 floors to 42. And in every single instance, we haven't actually gone outside. We just go huddle by the elevators. And I've always thought, like, if there's an actual fire, we're burning alive if we're just going to huddle by
Yeah.
the elevators. Like,
Yeah,
I think
y'all kinda screwed.
I think the stairwells are locked in those buildings. So, yeah, I'm glad y'all practiced that.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
I
and
was shocked at how bad we were at it.
so I'm sure, knowing like that you work for a really big company, your building isn't just 4 floors. So like, do you have a lot of buildings at the campus, or what does that look like?
Yeah, there's 12 buildings total. There's 2 of them I think are 5 stories. The rest of them are only 4, and they're
Okay.
kind of spread out across like college style. It's kind of like the feel of it.
Interesting.
But you might have anywhere between 500 to 1,000 people in a building. Mm-hmm. And there's all the buildings are there's one stairwell right in the middle, and then you've got your exit ones. But they're all pretty fresh buildings. Like we've only been here for a few months, So we don't
Oh,
really
really?
know exactly, yeah, like where everything is. And when you're crowding, 1,000 people down one stairwell, it all gets kind of jumbled up there. And of course, people taking the elevators, and it's just unnecessary chaos that could have been prevented.
So did they just build a bunch of new buildings, or did y'all like change buildings, or?
So our original campus was kind of spread across town with like one main hub, and then like
Oh,
everybody's in like
okay.
satellite offices, and like now we're all in one big campus for the most part.
Oh,
And we
nice.
all got assigned new buildings, so it's all kind of fresh and new for us. Like you can still smell the paint on the walls, like new building smell is there. There's still
Nice.
some feeling out. We're still trying to figure out like where the storm shelters are, like where to park. Like it's still kind of fresh and new. And then safety was not really considered by most people how important that is.
So which stairwell are you going to take next time?
I'm gonna go to the freight one that
Okay.
no one knows about. I could sprint and beat everyone to that one and be sure I'm first out to the rendezvous point. We also learned very important. Show up at the
Nice.
rendezvous points so people can be counted and don't run to your car to the garage and then sit in an hour parking garage traffic trying to leave.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad y'all went through that.
Me too.
Well, we can move on to our listener corner now. So we do have a listener corner this week. And if you guys want to submit a listener corner, you can email us those at workinglate.pod@gmail.com, or you can DM us on TikTok and Instagram at workinglate_pod. Same if you have hot takes or career confessionals, let us know and we'll be happy to feature you on the pod. So this one says, "Hey Jordyn," or in this case Ryan, "and Reagan, big fan of the pod. Keep it up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyways, my issue is that my boss does not respect my time. I'm still pretty new to my job, and he keeps scheduling meetings for really late in the day, like 5 p.m., and expects me to show up at around 7 or 7:30 a.m. Today, he scheduled a meeting with me for 5 p.m., which was okay, but then by 6 p.m., he still wasn't available. He said we'd have to push it back to 7:30 p.m. Keep in mind, I had gotten there at 7 a.m. and had completely finished all my work for the day by 5:30, so he expected me to just sit around for 2 hours waiting on him. This was also a non-urgent task. It was actually more of a training. I want to make a good impression, but I also want my time to be respected." That's a tough one. Ryan, what are your
That's
thoughts?
tough. So I've been through something similar. Sometimes you do have to just kind of adjust to the higher ups at times, especially when you're new. You kind of have to sit through it a little bit and stay late and kind of do your time. It does build a rapport that does come in handy later on. And then as you get kind of more comfortable in your role and who you're reporting to and who's asking for these meetings, you can push them off, after you've kind of earned it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I did. I don't know if you've had something similar.
Yeah, so I agree with what you're saying. Like, it's tough because I agree with you that it seems like this person is not respecting your time, and that sucks. But I also think that just for a little bit, I don't know how long you've been at this job. I don't think it said. But maybe just for the first like 6 months, I would probably just deal with it, so that you're known as like a person who's willing to be there and do your time and stick with it. You'll be seen as dedicated. And then, yeah, I agree. After a while, once they already know who you are and like you've kind of proven yourself, you can probably say, "Hey, I'm going to leave at 5. And then if you need me, I'll log back on." Or you can say, "Hey, this isn't an urgent task. Let's push it to tomorrow morning, look for time on the calendar." But yeah, I do totally I totally agree that he's not respecting your time, and that is really tough.
Yeah, that's tough, but I think sometimes it's important to establish a brand in the office.
Yeah.
And once you have that brand established, I think you get a little more leeway. I know, and then some people, even if it's a non-urgent task, like if the VP's coming by and says, "This is the one time I can meet with you," and it's like, "Oh, it's 5:30," I'm gonna stay just because I know that might be the only time on their calendar that I'm gonna get, and that's usually important. But those little things they go a long way. So if you do it for 6 months, it'll get better, and then I think it gets easier to push back when you need to as
Yeah.
well.
I agree. I used to work in an office that was, I would say, like a big FaceTime culture. They really cared about like how many hours you were there and not necessarily like how much work you were producing, which I don't think is a good thing. And I am so glad I don't work under those conditions anymore. But I will say, like, we we got bonuses at the end of the year, and it was very discretionary. It was kind of just whatever the partners thought we deserved. And like the people who put up with it and they stayed late all the time and they dedicated their lives to being at this office, they got pretty good bonuses. And people who left every day at 4 or 5 p.m., they didn't get a whole lot. So
People notice.
yeah, they do notice.
It seems like not much, but people notice, and usually the right people will notice.
And the tough thing about starting a new job is like how you establish yourself now is how people are going to think of you probably forever. Like it takes a lot to change someone's initial opinion about you.
Oh yeah, that is spot on.
Well, I think we're about out of time. Do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me pop on and fill in.
Hey, thanks for filling in. And I think we'll probably have a few episodes with Ryan. So if y'all have any questions specifically for him, email us. Again, workinglate.pod. He'll be filling in along with my husband Tristan and Jordyn's husband Greg for the next little bit, while Jordyn is finishing up tax season and then she's having her kids. So
Life doesn't slow down, apparently.
it does not. It really does keep going. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
All right,
Bye, guys.
thanks. Bye.